Om Sri Sai Ram. Till now, we have discussed what is arithmetic progression, how to identify a sequence, whether it is an arithmetic progression or not, how to find general term, which we call it nth term of arithmetic progression. We also discussed how to find sum of n terms. And now, today, the last class of this particular lesson, in which we are going to discuss some more problems based upon arithmetic progression, nth term, sum of n terms, and some practical problems where we find arithmetic progression which we have studied will be of great help. We continue with the third exercise and we will take up the problem number 12. The problem says, find the sum of first 40 positive integers divisible by 6. So, what is the first number which is divisible by 6? 6 itself. The next number is 12, next number is 18, next number is 24, and then 30, and then it goes on. He says, find the sum, means we need to add them. So, 6 plus 12 plus 18 plus 24 plus 30 plus and till 40 terms. We want to add this. The greatest advantage whenever the sequence is given is, you will know the first term of the sequence. So, here we say A is equal to 6 and D is also happens to be 6 because A2 minus A1 gives you 6. Number of terms is 40. If we know A, D and N, we can easily find out the sum of 40 terms. What is the formula? Sn is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So, substitute n is 40, so 40 by 2, 2a plus 40 minus 1 into 6. So, it is 20, 6 2s are 12, 40 minus 1 is 39, 39 into 6 is 234. So, this is the answer. This is how we can use sum of n terms formula for finding out sum of any number of terms if you know the sequence. We will move on to the next problem. The problem number 15 is a very interesting and practical problem. The problem goes like this: a contract on a construction job specifies penalty for delay of completion beyond a certain date as follows: rupees 200 for first day, 250 for second day, 300 for third day, etc. How much money the contractor has to pay as penalty if he has delayed the work by 30 days? This is the general scenario which we come across whenever an assignment is given to students. Whenever assignment is given, whenever a job is given to people, invariably they delay. And this kind of delays sometimes happens for certain reasons, and sometimes the people by nature have the habit of postponing the work. So, this is about a contractor who is being given a particular work to be completed on a specific time and he delays it. So a contract is being signed saying that if the work is delayed, per day he has to pay penalty. If the work is delayed by 1 day, he has to pay 200 rupees. If it is delayed by 2 days, second day he has to pay 250 rupees. Third day he has to pay 300 rupees, etc., etc. This person happens to delay the work for 30 long days. So the question is, how much money he need to pay as penalty? So let us have a look. So penalty for first day is 200 rupees. Second day it is 250 rupees. For third day it is 300 rupees. And it goes on like that. For fourth day it is 350 rupees. We need to find what is the total penalty which he is going to pay. So write it down in a horizontal way and add them. 200 plus 250 plus 300 plus 350, etc. And this goes on for 30 days. Once again, like the previous problem, let us say this is the total penalty, S30. Why do we call it S30? Because we are finding out sum of 30 terms. So here, once again, we know what is A, which is 200. What is D, we can find out by subtracting first term from the second term, that is 250 minus 200 equal to 50, and N is equal to 30. So use the formula as we used the last time, Sn equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Substitute the values, 30 by 2, 2 into 200 plus 30 minus 1 into d. D is 50 rupees. The difference between the terms is 50. So it is 15, 400, 30 minus 1 is 29, 29 into 50, 1450, 1850, this is the amount the contract, according to contract, the contractor has to pay because he has delayed the work for 30 long days. So in this particular way, the arithmetic progression which we have studied comes to our rescue for solving the day-to-day problems. From here, we move to the next problem, which happens to be much more interesting. Problem number 17. The problem goes like this. In a school, students thought of planting trees in and around the school to reduce the air pollution. It was decided that the number of trees that each section of the class will plant will be same as the class. What does it mean? The first standard will plant 1, second standard will plant 2, 10th standard will plant 10, 12th standard will plant 12. In that particular manner, they are going to plant. There are 3 sections in each class. So we have to keep that in mind. So the first class will be planting 1 into 3, 3. Second class will be planting 2 into 3, that is 6. And in that particular way, the number of plants will be planted. The question is very simple. He says, how many trees will be planted by the students? This is the problem number 17. Number of plants planted by first standard. They are planting per class 1, but since there are 3 sections, they will be planting 3. Second standard 6, third standard 9. In that particular way, the number of plants are planted in and around the school building in order to avoid air pollution. How many classes are there? There are 12 classes. So, the 12th class will be planting 36 plants. So, total number of plants is equal to 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12 plus 15, and interestingly we also know the last term 36. So, instead of using the same formula which we used, we can also use the last term formula for finding out sum of number of plants. So, what is the formula? When we know the last term, Sn is equal to n by 2 a plus L or a plus an, whatever you wish you can call it. N, number of classes 12 by 2, there are 12 classes, or number of terms are 12. First is 3, the last is 36. So, it becomes 6 into 39. The total number of plants which are planted in and around the school building in order to avoid the air pollution comes to 234 plants. See, when we discuss about the problem, we say first class is going to plant only 1, second class is going to plant 2. When you think, you feel that what is going to happen with 1 or 2 plants. But see, at the end they have planted 234 plants. It's a beautiful way of involving ourselves in doing something useful for our institution. It is easy to plant, but what is more significant and what is more difficult is to maintain them, regularly watering them, giving them some manure so that they will grow fast. So, whenever we are taking up the planting, generally in many schools children take up during the rainy season, we have to keep in mind, will we able to maintain them? Unless we are able to maintain, I mean regularly giving them water, manure and taking care of them, there is no point in planting any number of trees, because that will be just a significant day. You will have lots of photographs, we will post it to different people and you will get appreciation. But the end of it, after a month when you go back and look at the plant, you find that they all died. So, we will move on to the next problem based upon arithmetic progression, and this particular problem happens to be very interesting one. He has created a spiral and the problem goes like this. A spiral is made up of successive semicircles. It is made of semicircles. Keep that in mind, not circles. It is made of semicircles with centers alternating between A and B. There are two centers. Let us say this is one center and this is another center. The gap between them is 0.5. So, remember these gaps are 0.5 each, either side. So, if you want to, let us say you start with A, so you make one semicircle first. From B as center, you make the another semicircle, but now instead of having the radius 0.5, he says take the radius as 1 and then create the spiral. So, remember, now we are taking B as a center and taking the radius not 0.5, but we are taking the radius as 1 full and then making it. So, here from the center A, 0.5 was the radius and this was the semicircle. Now create the next semicircle with the radius 1. So, this will be like from here, from B to this particular point is 1. So, this should be taken. So, this will become like this. And then for the next one, he says take 1.5. Instead of going that side, now once again we go back to 1 and now we take the radius 1.5, 0.5, 1, 1.5. So, this is the center, keeping this. So, this will become the radius. So, and this will go like this. Here, what do we find? We find that it is a semicircle. We know that the circumference of circle is given by 2 pi r. So, what will be length of semicircle? Actually, length of the semicircle is pi r plus 2r. Why 2r? Because we also take the radius, but right now we are only taking the curve, so we can avoid and say only pi r. And this pi r, for whether this semicircle or this semicircle or that semicircle, it is going to be the same. Only thing which is going to change is the radius. So, if you consider this as L1, this as L2, this as L3, so we can say that total length of the spiral is going to be L1 plus L2 plus L3, and he says there are 13 such semicircles, so it goes on till L13. What is L1? It is nothing but pi r1. What is L2? It is pi r2. Similarly, pi r3, and it goes on till pi r13. What is r1? It is 0.5, and you can see that pi is common among all of them. Take it out. We have r1 plus r2 plus r3 goes on till r13. Write down the values of the radii. The first radius is 0.5, second one is 1.0, third is 1.5, next is 2.0, and it goes on like that. We do not know what is R13. R13 can be easily found out by using the L formula or AN formula. What is the formula? AN is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D or A plus 12D. What is A? 0.5. 12 into 0.5. 12 into 0.5 is 6 plus 0.5 is 6.5. So, we need to add till the last term 6.5. You can see that this particular sequence which we got is arithmetic progression. Why it is arithmetic progression? Because every term is obtained by adding 0.5 to the previous term. Whenever we obtain a sequence in which each term is obtained by adding a fixed number to the previous one, it is called arithmetic progression. So, we know the formula for sum of the terms of arithmetic progression. Here in this particular problem, for this particular series, A is equal to 0.5, D also happened to be 0.5, number of terms happen to be 13, last term is also known, A13 is also known as 6.5. By using this, the simple formula S is equal to n by 2 Sn is equal to n by 2 A plus An. We can easily get the answer. Substitute the values, number of terms are 13, so 13 by 2. First term is 0.5, last term is 6.5. 6.5 plus 0.5 is 7. 13 sevens are 91 by 2. Let it be as it is, 91 by 2 is the total of this particular sequence. Substitute the values, the value of pi is 22 by 7 into 91 by 2. 2 ones are 2 11s are, 11 ones are 11, 99 plus 1, 100 by 7. This is the length of the spiral. The total length of the spiral is 1001 divided by 7. You can divide by 7 and get the exact answer. 7 ones are 7. So it is 143 centimeters. Length of the spiral is 143 centimeters. So in these word problems or in these application problems, you can see that the solving part is very simple. There is no complication. What is very significant is to understand the problem. If you are able to understand the problem and if you are able to find out what is given, then the solution part is very simple. So we will just do one or two more problems before we close this particular chapter. In the same exercise, we have 19th problem. The problem goes like this. 200 logs are stacked in the following manner. 200 logs are stacked in the following manner. In the bottommost one, he has put 20. Above that 19, above that 18, above that 17, above that 16. In this particular manner, logs are being piled up. And what is the total number of logs? 200 numbers. The bottommost one, we have 20. Above that we have got 19. Above that we have got 18 in that particular way. He is asking us how many rows are the 200 logs placed. He is asking how many layers. How many layers they are being placed. So basically we want to find out number of layers. Okay. Or you can call it number of rows. He is asking in how many rows they have been placed. So n we have to find out. How many logs are in the topmost layer or row. These are the two things we have to find out. Number of logs in the topmost one, we can call it first term. The first layer, in the first layer, the number of logs can be taken as A. So A is not known. Number of layers or number of rows is not known, we can call it N. So A and N are unknown. What is known? We know that the last row has got 20 logs. So you know AN is 20. Previous one is 18, previous one is 17. So the gap between each layer is 1 only. The common difference is 1. So you know the common difference, you know the last term, and you also know total number of logs, that is 200. So let us find out. Total number of logs, we can take it as Sn. Number of logs in the bottommost one, the last layer, can be taken as An. We want to find out number of rows, we can call it N. Number of logs in topmost first row, we want to find out, we can say it is A. So these are the things given. And it is also given that the layer by layer, the gap is 1. So the D is also known. What is that we want to find out? N as well as A. So use the formula. First use the formula for nth term. Simplify it. So we have one equation, A plus N. Similarly, use the second formula for sum of n terms. Now what you do is, we have already found out A in terms of n. So substitute the value of A in terms of n in the other equation. You can call it 1. Get all the terms this side, you are going to get a quadratic equation. N into n square minus n square will become n square, 41n find out the factors by splitting the middle term. The product of number should be 400, sum or difference should be equal to 41. Find out the factors. So that we will have the factors n square minus 25n plus minus 16n plus 400 equal to 0, and the factors are going to be n minus 25 and n minus 16 equal to 0. The first one will give you n equal to 25, second one will give you n equal to 16. The logs are being piled up. we have found out the number of logs, number of the rows. Number of rows has come 25 and 16. We know that there cannot be two answers for a simple reason that number of rows which we have arranged can always be counted by anybody and the answer is going to be the same. So we need to know which is the correct answer. In order to know which is the correct answer, let us find out what is the first term. If the first term or the number of logs in the topmost layer is positive, then that is the correct answer. If the answer is negative, we say that we reject that particular number of logs. So substitute this in the formula of A. In the first equation you substitute. So if you substitute 25, you are going to get 21 minus 25, that is minus 4 equal to A. The topmost layer, he says that the number of logs are minus 4. Number of logs cannot be negative, so we reject it and we take the number n equal to 16 as the correct answer. Substitute there, you get 21 minus 16 equal to A, which is 5. So the number of logs in the topmost layer are 5. Number of rows is equal to 16. So n equal to 16 is the correct answer, A equal to 5 is the answer. So in this particular way, in day-to-day problems, day-to-day situations, we will be able to apply the arithmetic progression, finding out any term of the sequence, finding out sum of the terms of the sequence, and find solutions to these problems which we come across. We'll end this class with one very significant problem which we left in the second exercise. We'll just do that and then close this, and this will be the end of this particular chapter called arithmetic progression. Now what is that particular problem? Why it is so very significant? It is significant because in general all the problems which we have solved till now, they were all straightforward. Whereas this particular problem is little twisted, and let us see how it sounds. The problem goes like this. This is the problem from the second exercise and it is a 17th problem. Seventeenth problem of second exercise. Now what the problem is? He says find the 20th term from last. Generally we find any number of any term from the beginning. In this problem he says find the 20th term from the last of the arithmetic progression given. This is the sequence. How do we know it is an arithmetic sequence? The difference between consecutive terms happens to be same. A2 minus A1 is 5, A3 minus A2 is 5. So we know it is an arithmetic progression. So whenever sequence is given, we have advantage. What is the advantage? We know the first term, we know the common difference, and very importantly, we also know the last term for this particular sequence. So write it down. Here we have A equal to 3, D equal to 8 minus 3 equal to 5, and AN is equal to 253. When you know A, D and AN, what is that we can find out by using this formula? AN is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. Look at this, we know AN, we know A, we also know D, so we can find out N. We can find out number of terms of this particular arithmetic progression. So first find out that. Get this 3 this side and divide with 5. you will get 50 equal to n minus 1. So n is equal to 51. Number of terms of this particular sequence, are 51. Last term is 253. He is asking which is the 20th term from the last. We have two ways of doing it. One way of doing is just reverse the sequence. You start from 253. And you know the difference is what? Difference is 5. So 247. Decrease 5, it will become 242 and etc. etc. And the last term in that case will be 3. And if you are following this method, for this particular sequence, find 20th term from the beginning. Why 20th term from the beginning? Because we have reversed the sequence. So if it is so, we can say that A is equal to 253. Now what is changing? The common difference which was 5, now the common difference is minus 5. Which term we want now? 20th from the last he has asked. Since we reverse the sequence, we will say 20th term from the beginning. So we want to find out A20. So what is the formula? A20 as simple as A plus 19D. How much is A? 253 plus 19 into minus 5. So it is 253 minus 95. This is the answer. What is the other method? Suppose if you don't want to follow this particular method, how we can solve this particular problem? This problem can also be solved by finding out 20th from the last. Total number of terms we have found out 51. 20th from the last is going to be total number of terms minus 20 plus 1th term from the beginning. So in that particular way also we can solve this particular problem. So we have solved problems of various types while doing this particular exercise, and remaining problems which we have not done on the board can be done as a homework and can be submitted. So we have covered this chapter called arithmetic progression, and we have 6 modules. This happens to be the last one. Thank you. Sai Ram.